Petroglyph National Monument in New Mexico is a swath of land covered in symbols. We're told they were carved into volcanic rocks by Native Americans and Spanish settlers from what they believe is 400 to 700 years ago. The first thing you're confronted with at the Visitors Center is a sign proclaiming that symbols are a reflection of spirituality. It's a belief not widely shared by the majority of Westerners. So when symbols are wielded, many times people will ascribe the superficial mainstream pop culture view of what a symbol could mean, and its deeper meanings just go right over the masses' heads. In The Secret Teachings of All Ages, 33rd degree Freemason Manly P. Hall wrote, "By symbols men have ever sought to communicate to each other those thoughts which transcend the limitations of language. The mysteries thus choose symbolism as a far more ingenious and ideal method of preserving their transcendental knowledge. In a single figure, a symbol may both reveal and conceal, for to the wise the subject of the symbol is obvious, while to the ignorant the figure remains inscrutable." It's a heavy-handed way to start what might otherwise seem like a light-hearted video, but I wondered if anyone else has noticed the complete and utter inundation of unicorn symbolism in our society these days. Unicorns, which are supposed to be rare mythical beasts, are pretty much everywhere, and on everything. And I'm not talking about the Lisa Frank art that used to be on the folders in my Trapper Keeper in middle school, although she appears to still be alive and kicking it. I'm not talking about the My Little Pony reboot either, which apparently has spawned an entire fringe group of bronies. Yes, that would be adult men who like My Little Pony. Unicorns are everywhere right now, in a multitude that is not the level of your average marketing gimmick, but is truly over the top, unlike any merchandising campaign I've pretty much ever seen. I mean, there's a NASA campaign right now in which people are actually paying money to wear government agency propaganda, but that's mostly t-shirts and book bags. Nothing like this unicorn thing that has completely taken over the stores. Now, I noticed this several months ago, but just to prove the point, I took my teen daughter to the local mall, which is already a nightmare unto itself, in my opinion. But we went to the mall, plus a Walmart, a Target, and our local grocery store chain here in Texas. And the goal was just to snap a photo every time we saw a unicorn on a product. Excluding My Little Pony for obvious reasons. Aside from girl clothes and baby clothes, obvious targets, we found unicorn hats, shirts,
menswear, seriously,
socks, men's socks, multiple adult onesies, sleep pants, men's sleep pants, underwear, slippers, belts, shoes, book bags, purses, makeup bags, makeup, hair bows, a plethora of women's horned headbands, jewelry, blankets, pillows, lights, key fobs, blow-up drink holders, your choice of mugs, thermoses, magnets, posters.
Do you remember when unicorns were rare and mythical creatures? I don't.
Daily planners, journals, thank you cards. Check this out, it's a set of animal tacks that includes 6 animals, 5 of which are real, and 1 is a unicorn. And here's an inflatable unicorn taxidermy head wall decoration, just like nobody ever thought they wanted. There was also birthday cards.
Wait, what is it?
A donut unicorn. Look at it.
Why?
Gift wrap, party decorations, balloons, piñatas, cakes, games, adult coloring books, unicorn horn paintbrushes, which just seemed like a stretch, bath and body products of all kinds from lotion to hand sanitizer to bath bombs, including a set that claims you can bathe in magic unicorn dust, Band-Aids, gum, chocolate bars, wine. Apparently Lucky Charms has now replaced the hourglass symbol marshmallow in their cereal with a unicorn. But one-upping that, Kellogg's even came out with a unicorn cereal. Just unicorn cereal. Not really related to anything. Toys for the kids, of which there are many unicorn toys, now seem to also include a line of glittery unicorn snot, slime, and poop products, including one where you bottle feed a unicorn and the kids wait excitedly over a toilet while it craps out a glittery poop that they can play with.
I mean, how many elements do you have here? You've got little girls pretending to play with poop they found in a toilet that they think they found from unicorns that are dressed like skanky whores who have neon blue poop. Something has gone very wrong in this world.
Speaking of toys, they even had a unicorn dog toy. And one of the stores at the mall even had a unicorn astronaut cutout sitting outside the store so the little ones can stick their heads into it and become a unicorn for an Instagrammable photo. Oh, and duct tape. That's right. Unicorn duct tape is a thing that apparently exists now. And if you don't like unicorns, if unicorns don't do it for you, the stores also had plenty of catacorns, llamacorns, pandacorns, owlcorns, and even a zombie unicorn, just in case you like your unicorn to be among the living dead. Now what you'll notice is a lot of these products are not for kids. And that's because even though I was filming these things, I tried to stay away from a lot of the unicorn toys that I saw. Otherwise, I'd have even more photos right now. This is just what I found in the stores near me right now. I also found out earlier this year, both Target and Texas's grocery store chain H-E-B released special limited edition unicorn ice cream flavors. And several companies have also released unicorn liquor of various types. Starbucks even came out with a limited edition unicorn frappuccino. Also this year, apparently the unicorn is the featured costume, especially for women. Anytime we came upon a display with a series of costumes, the unicorn was always front and center. So for those of you who think this is just a Halloween fad, I assure you it's not. This has been going on now for the last couple of years. This happened last year too, and it's just gotten more and more insane. But we also found lots of unicorn Christmas ornaments for sale, including a giant blow-up lawn decoration. So overall, I went to about 10 stores, and I ended up with some 300 pictures and videos, and some of those show multiple items, and that's just in the span of a week. At the same time, in recent years, unicorns have also shown up in a wide range of commercials. Many of which, again, are not targeting children, but adults. Many of these products have messages about being a unicorn, being magical, living a magical life, believing in magic, or simply the phrase, I believe. Or at the very least, they have messages about being one of a kind, which is just so obviously true considering how much of this stuff exists.
One of a kind. Is it though?
But you might not have to have faith for long, because I've also read that CRISPR pioneer Jennifer Doudna, in her book A Crack in Creation, Gene Editing and the Unthinkable Power to Control Evolution, she wrote, "We are on the cusp of a new age in genetic engineering and biological mastery, and that CRISPR could bring about woolly mammoths, winged lizards, and unicorns, as it won't be long before CRISPR allows us to bend nature to our will." And I already can hear the average unicorn lover in my head saying,
unicorns mean happiness and purity, and they're all magically awesome, so shut up.
But with a craze like this that is more over the top than pretty much any fad I've ever seen in my entire lifetime, to the point where I can't even walk through any store for 5 minutes together right now without seeing a handful of these supposedly rare and mythical beasts, I began to wonder if there's a deeper meaning behind the symbol of the unicorn. After all, it's obvious the elite running things have their own set of ritualistic symbols and idols that they worship. Regardless of whether the masses realize and recognize it or not. A quick internet search and you'll realize that in modern times, the unicorn is tied to the occult and to the New Age movement as pushed by the Rockefellers' Lucius or Lucifer Trust. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole other report. Dr. Kathy Burns puts it pretty succinctly that the unicorn is a modern symbol of the Antichrist. Writing, in both European and Oriental traditions, the unicorn is identified with a Messiah who comes when the world is in danger and heralds the coming of a new and better age. And thus we see that the unicorn is in reality the symbol of a future conqueror who will bring peace to the earth. Who is this but the Antichrist, for whom the world awaits, unaware of his true nature? And if you know anything about biblical prophecy, then you know that the Antichrist is set to come heralding a new age with grand promises of peace on earth that will be anything but. But even if you put it in a softer fashion, in the book The Unicorn, occult writer Nancy Hathaway wrote, "The unicorn is a symbol of transformation. For this unicorn seeks a better world through the purifying purgative powers of destruction. Its purpose, like that of the Hindu god Shiva, is to tear down and to renew." Which just reminds me of the fact that CERN has a Shiva statue out front. Anyway, unicorns have also been utilized in occult circles as a symbol of fertility and sexuality, worn by those looking to increase their sexual magnetism. In the Dictionary of the Esoteric, it's noted that in alchemy, the unicorn was associated with the male-female symbol or androgynous Mercury, a motif indicating attainment of the great work. Manly P. Hall once again mentions that the unicorn's horn is specifically a symbol of the pineal gland or third eye, the spiritual cognition center of the brain. Hall wrote, "The unicorn was adopted by the mysteries as a symbol of the illumined spiritual nature of the initiate, the horn with which it defends itself being the flaming sword of a spiritual doctrine, against which nothing can prevail." Researcher and author Carl Teichrieb points out that the unicorn symbolism takes on greater significance when the practicus ritual of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is considered, a secret occult society that helped to usher in today's occult revival, whose members include the infamous Aleister Crowley. At the end of the ritual, the initiate is given the mystic title Monachris de Astris, or Unicorn from the Stars. So to these occult practitioners, the unicorn is a highly spiritual symbol. Indeed, in the May 1977 Rosicrucian Digest, Richard Machta wrote that the unicorn may have been killed as an earthbound entity some centuries ago, but the image of the beast as the embodiment of spiritualized force is still valid. In other words, the unicorn is a symbol of the illuminated spiritual nature of an initiate. Kind of brings another perspective to the overwhelming number of unicorn symbols floating around society today. Back in the 1940s, New Age occult writer Alice Bailey wrote that the movement's future goals included creating and vitalizing the New World religion and a public inauguration of the system of initiation, which specifically would involve the growth and comprehension of symbolism. So with such an overwhelming plethora of unicorn symbolism inundating modern society, is there a larger message here that the masses aren't really privy to? Sure, context is everything, I get it, and maybe it's just an over-the-top fad. But even if you think everything I said just sounds like a bunch of conspiratorial garbage, you at least have to admit there's nothing rare or unique about a symbol that's being flaunted everywhere and overused more than toilet paper. In fact, there's something cartoonishly conformist about taking a supposedly rare, mythical creature and slapping it on everything all over the place ad nauseum to the point that it's anything but rare. And when I step back and look at all of this, it kind of reminds me of what Julian Huxley, brother of Brave New World author Aldous Huxley and UNESCO's first Director General, wrote back in 1945 concerning the organization's goals. He said the unifying of traditions into a single common pool of experience, awareness, and purpose is a necessary prerequisite for further major progress in human evolution. Accordingly, although political unification and some sort of world government will be required for the definitive attainment of this stage, unification of the things of the mind is not only necessary, but can also pave the way for other types of unification. And since everybody's buying unicorn stuff everywhere, all over the place, maybe unification is the whole point. It's like a unicorn Borg out there. One last point, I think it's kind of interesting that a group of unicorns is called a blessing. Kind of makes you wonder, whose blessing?